It is Friday. It's the 10th of May. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong, making news today. Just a few hours remain until Pakistanis head to the polls, but it's been an election campaign marred by deadly violence. Dozens of people have been killed in a spate of bombings and shootings. The violence has flared in some of Pakistan's biggest cities as well as in rural tribal regions. Saturday's vote marks a key milestone in the country's 66-year history. It's Pakistan's first democratic transition of power. We want to get you more now on what's been a blood-soaked campaign. Simon Mosen joins us now from Islamabad with more on how people are feeling on the eve of this historic election, I should say, Simon. Monita, you know, there's a mixture of fear and excitement. It's an extraordinary mixture, of course. South Korean President Park Geun-hye has fired her spokesman over what she described as an unsavory incident. Quite what that means, we don't know yet, but we do know that it happened during a state visit to the United States. North Korea has publicly spelled out the nature of the, quote, hostile acts that landed an American tour operator in a labor camp. Kenneth Bae is accused of setting up anti-North Korean bases in China. Pyongyang says he also distributed anti-government literature. Relentless rains have forced about 3,200 Iraqis from their homes. Widespread flooding has inundated many villages southeast of Baghdad. The Red Crescent says it's providing tents, blankets, and food to those displaced. A team of scientists studying malaria may be one step closer to understanding how to stop it from spreading. They've been looking into a drug-resistant strain of the disease and say they've now got a clearer picture of its genetic makeup, which could help them eradicate it in the future. Malaria kills hundreds of thousands of people every year. A woman has been found alive in the rubble of a factory building in Bangladesh 17 days after it collapsed. A rescue official tells CNN she was discovered just a short time ago, days after recovery workers had given up hope of finding any more survivors and shifted their focus to retrieving bodies. The death toll from the building collapse has passed 1,000. The number of confirmed dead has been rising steadily since the 9-story factory collapsed, trapping thousands of garment workers in the rubble. Sources close to the Turkish government have told CNN refugees are arriving in the country suffering from unexplained symptoms that could be consistent with exposure to chemical attack. It comes as Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan told NBC News that the so-called red line on chemical weapons set by the U.S. had been crossed long ago. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh joins us now live from London with more on that. Nick, what do we know about what's actually being claimed here?
Well, there are two things. There's a statement from Prime Minister Erdogan, very clear, but above all explained to us by a Turkish source as being a result of tests which showed people were not injured by any kind of conventional arm.
All right, Nick, thank you very much for that. I should correct myself. It's actually Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, not President. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. The sailing world is in mourning after the death of an Olympic champion at sea. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I'm Monita Rajpal. In the U.S. state of Ohio, a law enforcement source says kidnapping suspect Ariel Castro has confessed to some of his actions. Authorities accuse Castro of holding 3 women captive in his home for almost a decade. The county prosecutor is considering charging him for the murders of his hostages' unborn children, and that could lead to the death penalty. Pamela Brown joins us now from Cleveland, Ohio. Pamela, this amazing revelation that he's actually confessed.
Yeah, that's right. We're learning from a law enforcement source that I spoke to.
Yeah, one can't begin to imagine what these women have gone through and what it will take for them to recover fully. Pamela Brown, thank you so much for joining us live here on the show. Let's switch gears now and take a look at the sporting headlines. And the world of sailing is mourning the loss of one of its brightest stars. Pedro Pinto joins us now from London with more on that. Pedro.
Hey, Monita. British sailor Andrew Simpson was killed on Thursday when his team's catamaran capsized during America's Cup training. But that's it for now, Monita. Back to you.
All right, we look forward to that, Pedro. Thank you very much for that. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. He's Prince Harry to you and me, but to his colleagues in the British Army, he's better known as Captain Wales. Today, the Prince pays tribute to hundreds of thousands of fellow soldiers who died in battle. He's visiting Arlington National Cemetery in the U.S. state of Virginia, the final resting place for many Americans and a few British servicemen and women. Washington, with more on that. Hello, Max.
Hi, Monita. Yeah, today will be more somber. This is personal, really, for Prince Harry. He's a serving officer himself, and he's going to be paying respects to fallen soldiers, and also...
Yeah, it certainly is part of this whole gentle diplomacy that you've been talking about, especially the start of his visit. And while, you know, we can all laugh and talk about how the women are swooning just at the sight of the prince, the reality is he has some very serious issues that he wants to touch upon and raise awareness of.
Yeah, and the context is those Vegas pictures as well from last year, those naked pictures, and he really wants to come across as a serious...
All right, Max, thank you for that. Max Foster joining us there from a very early morning in Washington, D.C. Let's turn to weather now, and a new tropical cyclone forms in the Bay of Bengal. Meteorologist Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with those details. Hi, Mari.
Hello, Monita. You know, every year we get maybe one, sometimes two tropical cyclones that form in this northern portion of the Indian Ocean nearing the Bay of Bengal.
Back to you, Monita. All right, Mari, thank you very much for that. We just want to remind you all of one of our breaking stories that we've been covering here on the show. A woman has been found alive in the rubble of a factory building in Bangladesh. Remember, that building collapsed 17 days ago. Days later, has been found alive, and emergency crews are working to pull her out. We'll bring you more on the story when we get it. For now, I'm Monita Rajpal. You've been watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. We'll bring you the headlines in just a couple of minutes.